Hey, we're here on the show. It's like good lunch. It's me, Hugh. Yaz is here. It's Thursday. We survived last night,
Yep.
and here we are today.
Here we are today.
Oh, we got a big show today. You thought yesterday was a big show. Today is going to be absolutely huge. And we're starting it off with Maria Benvenuto.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you for having me here. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's
about
great. We're
that.
just talking about Uxbridge. And,
Yes, where I am living.
You live right in Uxbridge?
Yeah, I live right in Uxbridge, Concession 6 and Brock Street. So it's a great little town.
I hear it's great. What's so great about it?
Well, it's definitely a family area, but it
Yeah.
has unique shops as well. It has great restaurants for a small place.
Really?
Yeah, we have some pretty great, I guess, restaurants in that we used to have gluten-free, but they're no longer there. But there's a really good mix, so not everybody's competing for the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's really great. In a little downtown, there is the Passionate Cook. Don't want to drop names, but they are amazing.
Yeah.
And she is a fantastic entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I love going to. She
Okay.
does a lot of cheese.
Nice cheese.
Because we said we like cheese.
We do like cheese.
I love to go thrift store shopping in these little towns. I bet you guys have good ones. Boutiques.
We have little boutiques. They're not exactly thrift, but reasonable.
I'll take you to some good
Reasonable.
thrift shops in Welland.
Oh, see, that's probably a little bit
Better for
further.
your thrift.
Yeah, because we're only, well, Uxbridge was built or started in 1806.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a very small community,
Yeah.
but it is very, very family, like I was saying. It's quaint, I guess is the word I would use to
Yeah, it's
describe
quaint.
it. It's a quaint town.
Yeah.
We have going parade and all kinds of goodies.
Well, it's always great to be in Toronto. Another beautiful day in
I
downtown
love,
Toronto.
Yes, and I actually love Toronto. It's where I come to for a lot of my entertainment.
All right. Well, listen. Let's get down to business.
Yes,
here, 'cause
absolutely.
We're here to talk about something,
Yeah.
and we're talking about CLC,
Yeah.
and that stands for something, right?
It stands for the Christopher Leadership courses, and
Okay.
it's actually taught Canada-wide, from the east to the west. And I personally took the course myself.
Okay. I've never actually heard of it. So, what is it exactly?
So what it really does, it is a course that was established. It actually came from Windsor,
Okay.
and it started in Windsor, 1953. And it really is a way for people to learn to communicate. Where what this course does for you is it puts together little steps for you to become an effective speaker. So public speaking maybe is not the correct term. It's an effective speaker, someone who can deliver an articulate message in their community, in their workplace, their organization, and it's done through small steps. Every week we learn something new. So this organization has been helping people since 1953. So it's very exciting. All of our instructors are actually volunteers. None of us get paid. Our payment is the success of others to see
Wow,
our
volunteer based.
Yes.
Well, I know the perfect candidate for you.
Oh,
We have
great.
Someone right here who could benefit from
Absolutely.
this wonderful
Absolutely.
class.
So the idea.
Amazing.
Who would that be? Yes.
I mean, the course is not free, so we have to get that in place. What it does cost is the cost of materials, or we also have to pay for the instructor training, and it pays for the location.
Okay.
But the instructors themselves, and this is how we can keep our costs so low. Because
Right.
some people get, oh my God, that's cheap. It can't be that great.
Yeah.
Well, it is great. It's just that we as instructors do not get paid. We give our time to this because it is just so good for you. I mean, I took it myself, and I benefited throughout my career, my own personal growth and development, because it just gives you that kickstart into the next one. Basically, just I'll tell you a little history of how I started. I was working one day, and this gentleman was working with me, and all of a sudden, I like to talk, and he just says, you talk a lot, but you really don't say much. And I was really insulted by it. What does he mean by that? But really what he meant was, I'm just all over the place. I'm not organizing my thoughts to deliver the message I'm trying to give.
Okay.
So you need to really organize your idea.
Absolutely.
And so what our course, and he says, I have a course for you, actually. His name is Paul Dixon. And I said, okay, Paul, since you know everything. And off I went and took the course. And really, it was transformational for me, because suddenly I realized, wow, I have something to say, but I really articulate myself well. And they gave you these little steps that you grow, and that every week there was a new challenge for me.
Now, I can see that people coming to something like this are going to have, everyone will have a different set of challenges. Or
Absolutely.
a different set of problems
Absolutely.
that they're trying to resolve. So is it like, can it help anyone no matter what?
Yeah, absolutely. My experience was I spoke too much, but we have people that come in that can't even say their name. They
Why
are
not?
so shy.
Okay.
They are so introverted. They're just afraid to speak.
And have you seen big transformations
Yes.
in people like that?
What happens is that because it is a nurturing environment,
Yeah.
and everybody is helping everybody. So we're all trying to help ourselves and push ourselves that little further. So when we are actually doing any kind of evaluation, it's always a positive with a suggestion of improvement and a positive ending. So that when the person hears it, they feel that, oh, I could work on that. It's not like we're not just pointing the finger, oh, you're not doing this well, or anything like that. It's a very nurturing environment.
It's not like you failed.
Exactly. No one fails.
Yeah.
We just sometimes take a little bit longer to get to where we need to be. And so we try to support that. We've had people that just wanted to leave, and we just say, hey, give it a chance. We talk to them. We will call them.
Yeah.
And they're home after the course, make sure they're still staying. We keep the course energized. That's the other thing too. They're able to do their assignments in the class together in a nurturing environment. Everybody's in the same place. We're all there for a reason. And we actually do that. At the beginning of the course, the first day, we ask, why are you here? And they let us know.
So I have a friend.
Of
okay?
course.
And the funny thing is, it's like whatever she says, it's like, I don't know even, I can't even put my finger on what the problem is, but like, you just don't listen. Like, but it's not from me, because other people, they could say the same words, but with this particular girl, she people lose, she can't command the attention of people somehow. I don't know what it is, it's weird. But it's like,
Okay, it's like she's speaking and
you
it's
just
like you instantly just get like distracted, and
Yeah.
your mind starts thinking about something
yeah,
else.
yeah.
So we've come across that as well. And what that normally would be is she's probably not really articulating her message as well, as she's not confident enough, and she may not keep her voice. Sometimes voices are, people stop listening, and maybe we need to sort of work on how they deliver the message, and how they do their gesturing, their tone, their communication.
Yes.
We talk a lot about that, your body language, as to how you're delivering it. Because sometimes what happens is it might not be what they're saying, as you're reading something else going on with their body
something.
language, and you go, I don't want to listen to that. It could be that.
Or
but
it could be a
It could-
mechanical thing, like you just need to
exactly.
project your voice
yeah,
more.
some
Yeah.
people are very quiet, for sure.
It could be
yeah.
like the tone. Some
Yeah,
people can
tone is
their
important.
voice can put you to sleep. Like the way they're so monotone, and
Yeah.
next thing you know, you're just very relaxed.
And this is what we do. We try to build we have different techniques to try and get people sort of excited about it, learning different gestures, learning how to project, when not to project, high or low voice. We talk about that. But that is part of the whole, it's all done slowly and nurturing. But I find for myself too, when I was learning you are a little nervous, and you're always nervous, but any kind of communication, if you're delivering it to a group, it's always nerve-wracking. I mean, the idea we try to teach is, let's get those butterflies in
Do
formation.
you guys work with companies and teach employees how to communicate with one another in a professional manner?
We don't do it quite that way, but we have taught our course at corporate levels. As a matter of fact, we will be starting at the Y in January. We'll be doing a course with them. So we do try to do that, but because we need more of that, but we mostly try to work within the community.
Yeah.
But it's something that we would love to venture into. And I know that it can be We would probably tailor it a little bit more than what we do in a class setting, because when you're in a class setting, we have people from 16 years old right up to whenever, 90, whatever you'd like. That is a great mix because it really nurtures, and people have come from different walks of life, so that's very good. In a corporate setting, it's a little different. You're working with people who work together, so you kind of have to moderate a little bit more for the course to sort of fit more that environment.
Yes,
Our environment that we do right now, we take the course, is strictly for public consumption. If it's a corporate, we will go in and figure out what they need and then tailor it that way to
Sounds
suit
very
their.
nurturing and very loving. I love the idea of it. It's very one-on-one. And so this is all volunteer-based, you said?
The instructors are volunteered, yes.
Okay.
We all volunteer, and we have an organization, we have a governing body in Canada, and then we have our charters, and we are all over. We are in the West, we are in the East, and we are also in the Central area. So
Amazing.
Are you talking about Toronto?
New Brunswick, we teach in New Brunswick, we teach in Vancouver Island, and in Toronto, we are the Durham, and we are now, I was just expressing that we are trying to also get more in the Toronto area, like closer to downtown.
Yeah.
We have not had that opportunity before. Location is always a sort of a situation because we are a nonprofit, so our costs are to try to stay low. So we are venturing to, that is our next venture, is to try to get further downtown because there is a lot of people who are
We
interested.
got a location here. I don't know
Yeah,
if it
I
would be
heard that. It sounds very exciting
appropriate.
opportunity. Yes.
Plus we could put it on video and,
Yeah,
you know.
we will discuss that with we have an executive team that
Oh.
I was in part of that executive at one time. We all serve positions to keep the organization sort of together.
So, okay, so there's like 3 groups across Canada? BC, New Brunswick, and
Yeah,
Toronto?
I think there's about 5
Oh.
different charters. There is one, we have also in Bruce County, so
Okay,
and in Hamilton,
yeah,
Ottawa.
okay.
We have a
It's
group in
all
Ottawa.
over.
Yeah, and Ottawa now is reaching out. We're actually now teaching in Quebec and French.
How long has this been going?
Well, since 1953. That's
And
how
who's-
1953.
Yeah.
my
Who's this
goodness.
Christopher that?
Well, the Christopher really is just a name they picked because of the legend of St. Christopher, right? And that comes down because of his courage.
Okay.
Because it takes courage to do effective speaking in front of a group or one-on-one. It takes courage to look at yourself and say, hey, I need a little improvement. How do I get that improvement?
Yes.
So we use that as part of, and the strength that it took to do it. So we kind of, that is what the name was put together, is to resemble that legend, that strength, that courage, that wanting to do something more for yourself and others. You're really doing it for others, but the great thing is it comes back to you anyway. Every time I instruct, it's just amazing. Like, the students are fantastic. They really want to do better. They want to improve themselves. Some of them come in who feel they are great speakers. And then, as a matter of fact, it just happened. I just finished instructing. And this one lady who is very polished said, you know, I always thought I could speak, but taking the course, I realized I really was missing a lot of little tidbits that's going to help me even more so. And that's really what it's about. It's, you may feel you know, and you may brush it off, I'm a good speaker, but you're really missing out. You need to, if you've never taken any type of course like that, you should take that extra step.
You know what, I have to say that I'm shocked that you said that you used to talk a lot, but not say a lot. Because in hearing you today, you're an amazing speaker.
Well, thank you, and that shows the course. That is what it's done for me. I've been in this organization for over 20 years, and I love it. I instruct as much as I can, as my time allows. It has helped me in my career. I actually was a client services manager for a financial print company. I used to work just down here, actually, just downtown, 220 Bay.
What do you mean
Wow.
financial print?
What it is it's actually at the fund level. At the fund level, we printed and we prepared the documents for the fund reporting,
Okay,
not your statements. That's a different thing.
okay.
So it's very different.
Because we're interested in printing money around here, so I just.
Are
just
you?
kinda
Well, aren't we
follow.
all?
Oh, yeah.
We all want to press in our basement.
Yeah. Well, see, if we use better paper than the government, then pretty soon people will want to use our money rather than their money.
Yes, and I think eventually, though, there will not be money. It'll just be, we'll just use cards and we just touch it, our retina, everything will just happen.
No, they're gonna put a chip in you. Are you gonna get the chip?
Oh, yes.
You are?
Oh, no. My dog has a chip, but not me. No, I feel that's a little bit too invasive. I don't think I want to do
I
that.
think it's the mark of the beast.
Let's resist the RFID, everybody.
I
Do not
think
get
so.
the chip, whatever
No.
they tell you.
No, I'm not, I don't like to be, I like to start to be unique, and that's what we talk a lot about in our course, is how unique you are. And if you want to be like everyone else, then you're losing your uniqueness. And that's part of what I was actually speaking earlier, is that a lot of people would like to mimic other speakers. Like you look at Tony Robbins. Oh my God, you know, he's such a great speaker. Yeah, but he's speaking from a motivation all the time. You're not always motivating people. And he's Tony. You're not Tony. You have your own unique way of delivering a message. So it's always important people realize that they all have the ability to speak, and they're all unique, and they can do it as long as they don't try to don't be someone else. Be you, because you is the most important thing. And I think a lot of people just try so hard to be something else or want to be somewhere else, or you just have to be yourself.
You know, I think that's a big, important thing in communication, is allowing someone to be themselves. And you're teaching
Absolutely.
people to let themselves shine and be themselves.
Exactly.
And that's a part of having open, honest communications.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because we just, as I said, we just finished instructing, and I had a graduate, she will graduate, her language is not her first language, obviously. And she just came to Canada very recently, probably maybe 5 years ago. And she really participated in a course, and she does have difficulty sometimes, but the idea was, as she was telling us, is that it really has helped her articulate herself a little more and understand and be able to now continue with her course she's taking, ECE. And when she first came in the class, we're all going, but still we felt, you know, she's brave. And if she's brave to come and do it with her limited amount of speaking skill, we were able to take whatever she had and make it herself and be able to deliver something. And she delivered her talks. Every time her assignment, she did her assignments. And that's exciting. And I think it takes courage to do that. And I that's why I'm such a strong believer of what we do, and try to encourage people, come out, like, put yourself out there. Don't think that you're not going to learn something. You always learn something.
And how often do you guys get together?
Well, we do 2 sessions a year, and every session prior to starting, the instructors get together and we are trained to make sure we are still on the same page, because we teach the same thing everywhere. So if you were to take our course here, but then you have to go to New Brunswick, and the class, you're going to miss this class, we can hook you up and you can go to New Brunswick if they're having a class, and they will be exactly the same as what it is. So when a student misses something, when we have 4 classes running or 5, we will send them to another location, because we know we are trained to teach exactly the same. Our delivery may be different because, again, we're talking about uniqueness, and so we deliver differently. But the message is the same, the support is the same, the nurturing is the same.
So you only do it twice a year?
Yes, at this point, that's all we do. We do a fall and we do a winter.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a seminar. It's about
Yeah,
a
because it's
5-hour day.
And it's 11 weeks. No, it's not. It's 11 weeks. It's 3 hours a week
Oh,
for the students. So it's an 11-week course.
11-week course, 3
11-week
hours
course,
per
3
week.
hours per week for the students. So they're 3 hours in the class.
so 3 hours every week for 11 weeks
Exactly.
in the fall?
In the
and
fall, and
3
the same
hours
thing.
a week for 11 weeks in the spring?
Yeah, but that's, again, that once you do the 11 weeks, you're done, so then there's a second session. We have 2 sessions, right? We also have a level 2. Once you complete level 1, we then encourage you to go to level 2, because that will even further your ability to now work with mediums, like PowerPoint, flip charts, and also whiteboards, that type of communication. And so we also work with that. So we
How many weeks is that class?
that one is only 8 weeks, and it's the same 3 hours as well. And it's a much smaller class. That will only be about 10 to 12 students, because there's a lot more interaction together. So the mechanics takes more time. And 3 hours is a long time for people to be sitting there. So this is why we have a our classes consist of four instructors. And there's a reason for that. That's to keep the energy of the class going, and everybody will deliver something differently, right? And so we keep everybody always on the go. Part of the whole purpose is to keep people energized. And sitting in the chair for 3 hours just listening is not very good energizing. So we all come up and we all do our different lessons. So there's a different way. So they themselves see, or four, but we all deliver different. So it's okay for them to also be different, because that's what makes us successful, is to be ourselves.
And how many people are usually in a session or seminar?
Usually each class
Yeah.
is about, right now, up to 23, 25 is the max we would like. This class that just graduated from us is 23. Actually, our graduation will be this Sunday. So they'll be graduating, all 23 are graduating.
So obviously, this would help anybody, because everybody has to communicate, right?
Everybody. And you have to communicate with your family. So how do you, like, here I use I use it with my children.
You could teach that.
Well, you know what? It's all about listening. How do you listen to people? Because you've got to listen
Yeah.
before you speak, right? So most
Boy.
of us like to talk more than listen
That's
more.
true. I know a lot of people that talk.
Yes. So you have two of these, one of this, yet you use this much more than these two. So it's important that you listen to anybody, but then it's articulating your message. It's always that way.
Yeah.
Because most times the message is misunderstood. And so when it's misunderstood, right away it ensues an argument. Because suddenly you've taken the information one way or another.
Do you guys like there's, I'm just thinking, actually, there's this book that I think I have a copy somewhere. And it's called Nonviolent Communication. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't, but
I'm just, well, I was just wondering if you take specific kind of communication strategies that people have developed and, apply them or teach them in the course.
In the course, what we try to do is more of just a structure way of setting up your communication.
Okay.
Each instructor brings a unique way of share, because we have a motivational talk at every night. And that talk usually is a motivation for them about what we've done, incorporating a certain listening skill. So that's what we would use then. And then we would then at that time bring forward references that they could read to improve, active listening, the importance of that. And we do more of that in our level 2.
Yeah.
We just do a little bit of it's like a teaser. We introduce you to it because not everybody's ready to do it all, right? So we give them little something so that they can then move to the next step in their journey.
Wow. Well, that sounds great. I would love to maybe do something here if possible. We're right here in the middle of Toronto.
Oh yeah, it's a great location actually.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot
Cool.
of businesses might want to even have their employees take this communication class because it's valuable in the workforce, in dealing with clients, in dealing
Absolutely.
with other entrepreneurs. I think it's helpful on your resume to have that. It's a really good thing for everybody.
So now let's tell people how they can find out more or get in touch.
We have our website, which is www.clc.torontoeast.com, and that's our webpage. They can go in there and see all our courses. We also have the national email page as well, which is clcnational.com, www. So
CLCnational.com?
yeah, so that's the national, so that they can see other classes, and then for the Toronto that's the one, the
Okay.
Toronto East.
That's great, because
Yeah.
people could be watching this from all over the country, and they can just
Yeah,
go to that national
absolutely.
website and
Yeah.
find the one that's most convenient.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I've gone to Korea to teach the course, so
Yeah.
that's fine, because the Koreans saw our site, were very interested.
Wow.
And I was part of the team, or several teams went, but I was in one of the teams, and we went to Korea and we helped them set up.
You should
And
go
now
to
they
North
teach her.
Korea and teach that Kim
Not
Jong-un
quite.
guy.
I would, but I'm not ready for that yet. I think he's a little bit weirdo.
That's why he needs the course.
Yeah, he probably does, but I think his listening skills is way out of line.
That's what we got to fix. And
Well,
Trump,
the
too.
challenge is always good.
Listen, Maria, it's been great to
Oh,
have
thank you
on.
so much for having me. I
Thanks for
really
coming.
enjoyed
It's been
it.
great having you.
Thank you, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we got lots more coming up here on Liquid Lunch, so stay tuned. We'll be back with more here on thatchannel.com.